I want to talk a little bit about getting an autism diagnosis. There's all this conversation nowadays about how everybody's claiming to be autistic now and it's being overdiagnosed and it's all bullshit. And that way of talking is very upsetting to me as an autistic person. I honestly can't tell you for sure if it's being overdiagnosed, but I can tell you what the diagnostic criteria are and what it takes to get a diagnosis. So maybe that will help at least a little bit. So, just to clarify, in order to get an autism diagnosis, there's two primary categories of symptoms: social and communication differences, and then there are the restricted and repetitive behaviors and interests. Those are the two categories. The social and communication is, difficulty with understanding normal communication patterns, challenges with back and forth communication, difficulty with nonverbal cues, difficulty understanding body language and facial expressions, difficulty with eye contact, difficulty developing and maintaining relationships, all of that stuff. The restricted or repetitive behaviors or interests category has to do with things like repetitive movements, like stimming kind of movements, rocking, flapping hands, things like that. Repeating the same words or sounds over and over, or lining up toys. Or it's also got to do with the insistence on sameness, so the reliance on routine and the resistance to change, that kind of thing. Hyper focus on subject matter and special interests, like an abnormal fixation on specific interests and topics. And then they also include in that category the sensory differences. Those are the symptoms. All of the other experiences that are common for autistic people are common experiences, but they're not part of the diagnostic criteria. A couple other things that are really important to know. One is that those symptoms in those two categories have to have been present during the early developmental period in order to qualify for diagnosis. And then they also have to be causing, and I'm going to quote here, clinically significant impairment in social, occupational, or other important areas, end quote, of life. So really, it's not that easy to get a diagnosis. You can't get an autism diagnosis just because you relate to some of the experiences of autistic people. You have to have deficits in those specific categories. They have to have been present since early childhood, and they have to be causing clinically significant impairment in your life.